What's up, everybody? I'm here to talk about those JTF Sprockets. I don't get sponsorship. I had to buy all those different sprockets you saw in the earlier picture myself to try and do a little comparison testing compared to the OEM sprocket setup and then the 10 millimeter Talon sprocket setup that I've been running over the last couple of years. Prior to the Talon, I was running a PBI 3/8 offset. It was a 530, and then I had it shaved down to a 520. The PBI number is 172 3/8, and it's a 15 tooth. That's the smallest as they'll make them in the front. And then I'm from total width is 15.5 millimeters. I then went to Talon, and Talon started custom made one. You can order it yourself. It's like a 9, almost a 10 millimeter offset, but that one is inside to outside. That is 16 millimeters. Again, it's a 520. 520 chain series is going to give you a little more clearance when you get to the back. Give that clearance for the tire. Also give you clearance for the frame. I tried to run a 530 before, and that no matter what I did, that chain would just nick the inside of the frame. It just wasn't enough clearance to run it. So this Talon sprocket is TGS 226, and it's 14 tooth. What I'm thinking about running now with the new die mags, because that's why I'm selling all these wheels and stuff, is I've purchased new die mags. It was a chunk of change. You know, it was a Christmas present, which I had to wait for our tax returns. If you're in the States, you know what's that all about. But I'm gonna run this nice self-cleaning 14 tooth super light sprocket. That is a JTF 565. And I'm gonna run a 6 millimeter front sprocket washer that JTF sells as well. And that is JTF 518 Bravo B. Fits on there nice. All right, I'm looking like a fool here. Nice and flush. Everything I've paired up today that you saw earlier from those pictures, I've put the chain on, put my Motion Pro chain alignment tool, then ran a laser down it just to double check it. Everything seems to be within spec, no more than a millimeter one way or the other. Again, this OEM sprocket is what I base my measurements of what I need to go off of, whether it's my Cosman wheel or whether it's the new die mags. You're looking at, to get that tire clearance at 4 to 5 millimeters offset for that rear sprocket. There's different ways to do that. You can go and get a bunch of different washers, stainless steel or aluminum, and then you mic them out or measure them. Like all of these right here are 1.75. I just take all the different ones and measure each one and try to get them bagged up in different series. I use those bags to stick behind your sprocket hub before I put the sprocket out. And I'm looking for that 4 millimeters to push out and offset it. An easier way to do it is take an old sprocket, preferably aluminum to keep it lightweight. This is a 520 sprocket. It's 6 millimeters. I would take it to a machine shop, have them cut this into a circle, and then shave off 2 millimeters, so it's 4 millimeters thick. Maybe 5, but somewhere in that 4 and 5 millimeters is what you're gonna look for. Test fit it, start at 5, test fit, see if you like that alignment or not. If not, take it back, get that light little bit, 1 millimeter taken off again. And that way you've got just one little bracket, you stick it right on there, you don't have to worry about doing the whole washer deal. PBI, there's people that made that other sprocket, they'll also do that for you, or just take it to any machine shop and they'll be glad to cut it out in a perfect bracket for you and use that to space everything out. If you have more information or you have questions, just shoot me a private message or hit it right there on the Facebook post. Definitely excited to try this new setup with my die mag wheels. Hopefully I can pass these Cosmans on to somebody. These are the 6-inch right here. You saw the 6 1/4 earlier, so I have actually 2 sets, same color, same setup, the way they were done, full disclosure, I'm trying to give you guys all the information that you would need to set this up. Getting a Cosman wheel done back in the day was $500 a wheel. So I'm never going to use them, so I'm just trying to get rid of them, and that's why it's so cheap. They're in great shape. It's lightened aluminum. That means you can't use pry bars on it. You can kind of like use it to slide, but don't go try and monkey it around in your garage. Take it to a pro, make sure it's done the right way, and that aluminum is soft and it's lightweight to keep the wheel as light as possible. Cosman here in California, well, I'm in Virginia, but Cosman was in California. I think they've split now to 2 different companies. It may have been sold off again, but they were known back in the 90s and early 2000s for all drag racers and AMA superbike racers to get custom wheels done up when they wanted different changes but couldn't do the changes here. Right now I'm running a Dunlop. This is a 6-inch rim Dunlop 255. And I saw the video earlier about the chain clearance. I've changed the setup. It gives me a lot more space. I feel like I could almost run a 525 or 530 with this new sprocket setup that I just talked about. And then you saw the ones I posted up for sale. That's the 6 1/4, and that's running a Dunlop slick. Anytime you go with the 190 tire, you're gonna have plenty of space. You go with that 195 slick or a 200 size slick or a 200 size, like here there's a Q4s, you're gonna have just a little bit of clearance. You got to make sure you're lined up. But that's the way I've been running things for almost 10 years. I raced this bike from 94 to 98. So a lot of the information I received was back in the day at Road Atlanta, Roebling Road, and then kind of 98, 99, I was hitting up 2000s. So any other questions? I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro mechanic. I'm not a pro racer. I'm just a guy in the garage, just enjoying what I do and getting some time and having some fun with it. And if you have anything, just let me know. Thanks.